All right, you may begin. We are live.
Meeting called to order at 5:30 p.m. Members present: David Lowe, David Worley, David Allen, Ray Shelton. Absent: David Worley. Others: John and Allison.
Crystal.
Oh, sorry. Crystal, sorry. Not Allison. First thing, approval of the minutes. Second, all in favor? Visitors, petitioners, we have none, so we'll go move on to old business.
Okay. Public Wi-Fi. Right now, we have completed the Civic Center, which is the base for this, for our public Wi-Fi. We're running a fiber optics system out of the Civic Center. And we've completed the ball fields and Memorial Park. We are pending transmitter installation at skate park and basketball courts. And then we're waiting for West Kentucky already installed a light pole and a service there on Fifth and East Fifth and Oak Park Boulevard. We're going and putting in a new pole there, and that service will be what we utilize as a distribution point for everything going and coming to Oak Park and the tennis courts. So, and then that's what we're doing. We're working out toward Oak Park, and we have 9 points in Oak Park we have to install. So, but we are moving forward. We've got all the equipment with some small pieces that we need to put together for the installation, but we've got all the working components for the Wi-Fi.
Once everything's completed, what kind of coverage?
You'll have coverage from Old Park all the way up to all the parks will have coverage. Also, the fountain, we've had some issues right now. We're in the middle of leaving. The trees are all leaving, and of course, when the wind blows, that puts leaves in the fountain, and that slows down the flow of water because it clogs. So we're constantly having to deal with that. So if you see the fountain running at half its normal height, it's generally because it's got leaves clogging it. They have to go in there every day and clean to get that open. We'll continue to run the fountain through the holidays, but somewhere around the 15th of January, as long as the temperatures don't get too cold, we'll keep it going until about then we'll shut it down for the season, do our maintenance and recalking and all the stuff we have to do prior to next spring. But right now, we'll continue to let it run with the lights and everything until the 15th of January, or if the weather gets too cold, we'll shut it down at that point. The bike and walking trail and the Moneymakers trail that we just did the opening on last week, I believe it was. I think it was last week or the week before?
I think week before.
Week before, that's correct.
When it was so cold.
That's correct. We're looking at some trail features, some bike features to go in. We got some money for that. Zigzag, some sort of a roll, and then I think a seesaw type setup that we're looking at. These are going to be easy enough to install because you basically install them with this, what looks to be a huge wood screw that's, a foot or so long, and it actually looks just like a wood screw. And you put it in with a drill driver, and that's what anchors it to the ground. So it's a stick, and it's the same. We're looking at a company. We've looked at a couple of companies, but right now the company we're looking at is one coming out of, American Ramp Company. We got the skate park materials from. I don't think they produce it. It's produced by somebody else, but we're dealing with them at this point. Chastain and Associates. My drawings have gone to them to do the plans, electrical, HVAC, plumbing, foundation, wall plans, or all that's going, they'll bring that back to us. We've contracted with them to do the drawings for it. So that's what we utilize to submit for our permits with the building inspector's office. And again, lift station, I guess we'll get to it as we can. We're a little bit shorthanded right now. We've lost, of course, everybody's going through vacations, it's the holidays. And then we've also lost a member of their team to the utility department and transferred over. We didn't lose him, he just transferred over to one of the other departments. So, as far as the budget goes, we're still in good shape. Yeah. Check that. We've got some items that are high, mostly in fuel, stuff like that. But for the most part, I mean, we're still under budget at this time of the year. And then we've been working pretty hard on these projects. Right now, the Wi-Fi in our 526, which is our land improvements, the bulk of that is the Wi-Fi, and then the purchase of the bleachers for the pickleball court, and also the Play Pro stuff that we got for the old park. That came in late in the year. So those are the big purchases right now in our 526. Paving, again, like I said last time, we're not going to fund it. We won't address paving unless the rates come down during this fiscal year. So just FYI on that. So, and that's update unless you guys have something else that I need to address. Couldn't think of anything, but for something else, please let me know.
We go to new business.
There won't be, unless we do a special call meeting in January, that's our holiday. We won't be here. The city will be closed that day, but it's actually the 2nd of January. So it'll be February before we meet a regular meeting next time. Right. At that point, we'll start looking again and seeing if we need to address any other items. Hopefully I'll have something back from Chastain by that time. So as far as the bathroom goes. Again, the other 2 bathrooms, I don't know what their estimated cost is with the prices being what they are today. So I don't know, we'll have enough in there for our unisex bathroom, for the tennis court, for the trail. But I'll keep you up on that. As soon as I find out something, we'll move from there.
And then the jewelry part.
Yeah, I told the person that contacted me when they meet, and I haven't heard anything else, so. That seems to
If
be
you have
what
more than one person, okay.
They've contacted me about a dog agility park. I don't even know what that means.
That's one of those that has it has a line. I've seen them.
We've talked, I mean, Murray's park, dog park area has some of that stuff in there, I think. I think when we originally talked about the park, it has most of those things that are fenced in, some of those things in it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen specifically a agility trainers.
That's what I was telling everybody, just come to our meetings.
We need to go.
There's really nice parks.
It's wide, it's just lots of room to run. Well, and Mayfield has one as well. It's like a dog park, tennis courts, and as well, they have a few structures you know, like a little seesaw that they get on one side. But I guess the question would be, dog park, we've had that.
Right.
bounced around,
Right.
Never really say something. Kinda expensive, but,
But we've had people bring it up, but they never really follow through, and so that's what I
Yeah,
tell
you gotta
people,
get
we
started.
don't know there's
Yeah.
any a
Yeah,
need
I
until you
personally
come to us.
agree.
So, I know.
I mean, that's them too. Has there ever been any talk or any interest in, expanding, like our Christmas footprint in the area? Oh, the bazaar is good. Unfortunately, have our issues. When that beacon is lit in the sky that everybody sees, and I'm pretty much at work all the time. But, I know it's been successful, and it just seems like there's maybe a place for that. I know Patty's does a good job, kind of has an area, of course, they have food that draws in. And you have the Dickens area that Benton does. But because it's something that could be, Christmas is each one of the few things that starts almost at the end of November, it goes through December.
Mhm.
So it possibly could be something that brings in traffic to our area if we have some.
Think about something that's more ongoing,
Yeah.
as opposed to just a one night.
From a standpoint of decorations that are not kind of like our older decorations we have now, more of the, I've seen some of those of different cities that have old picture places, you know, like Christmas Village or Christmas City, you know, Christmas Town, Yield Christmas Town, places where they're kind of lit, and have decorations, people take pictures and walk in the area. Different things that they do, they build bulk forests, you know, and things,
Mhm.
just kind of things that can stationary, but my point to all this was, it was brought up to me, somebody asked me this question, and I said, well, we don't have any plans to do anything like that I've heard of. But I do know at the end of December, there'll probably be some of those things that were available at a much lower cost. To plan, if it was a planning committee, if something somebody wanted to do, I think it would start with a committee or, you know, honestly, lawyers and put.
The biggest thing that we have trouble with at this point is we have volunteers that do a lot of this. You know, and employees that we have basically covered up what we got. We don't have much time for a whole lot more. And I'd love to see more down there, but I don't know that we have the employees and the time to put that out.
Yeah.
And if you're counting on volunteers are wonderful, but you can only stress them and so far, you know yourself today how that goes. I mean,
Yeah,
she puts her money where her mouth is, and she's there for it. So, I mean, but I also know that, and I like your idea, I like the idea, and I'm not saying we can't do that, I'm just saying, just be aware that that's gonna be a key factor in any concerns or any plans that we may work out is, how easily will this be to put up and maintain and that kind of thing.
Well, I just told, you know, the parties I was talking to, that I would put it up and get the ball rolling, but I definitely thought it was nothing that could be done in very short term. It would have to involve a committee, even a thought committee, even get it together to address labor issues, probably have to incorporate Lions Club, Rotaries and things like that to expand, you know, there'd be a lot of things that have to be discussed. You know, I mean, but to your point, I see the biggest issue would be just the labor to get things out, even if it were things just to get out in a more modern, kind of artistic way. The lights are good, you know, I've seen with Mike Miller, but even Mike Miller, I mean, that's what they do. There's not that warmer, artistic
I think I know where you're
Christmas
going,
vibe.
almost like a Hallmark vibe.
Sort of, yeah. That no one else really
Yeah.
has probably the ability to invest in, to do, just really because you at least for, you know, like Halloween, it's up and it's gone. I mean, it does last. You know, if you get your Christmas decorations out, they're nice, and you don't want to put them up. I mean, you just leave them up for a good month, and it just feels good. But Savannah, Tennessee was one I saw. Some really neat stuff. And some really neat pictures that came out of there. course, they got kind of a downtown, you know, thing to do. But, yeah, it's just a kind of a, something. to throw out
Bowling
there.
Green, I was talking about that earlier, Bowling Green has a beautiful fountain square. And it's all white lights in there, but they, of course, they've got the fountain in the middle of it, they got the big archways, and so they wrap everything. I mean, trees, you know, fountain picks up the light, it's not really lit, they may have some up lights. But the entrances and the archways are all lit and got some decorations on them. And they'll run those until, actually, those lights will stay up and go until Valentine's. But that one little, that park area, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's
So
absolutely
Memorial
gorgeous.
Park is kind of, you know, in my mind, because you
That's
got the
what
fountain there and you've got the ability to just really kind of that square.
Yeah.
To create even a walkthrough where you draw people that want to come, kind of like they would go to Patty's if they pick, in Free County area, you know, let's go to Calvert. But I wouldn't, I don't know. I'd
I
say
like the idea, I
the
really would.
committee would be what I would suggest to even get the thought, you know, people that are really Christmassy minded and artistic and to kind of get that going, because there's so much out there to do, and it's a good solid month that I think would bring, if you could be that yield Christmas city designation for the area, I think it would be pretty neat, special, you know, but I don't know how to do that.
Well, I say,
Email
email Blair.
It's kind of on the way to run Patty's to bring them this way, maybe something.
Well, I say, talk to Blair, because especially after the event, I know she's probably way tired, but now it's fresh on her mind. And then, and Chelsea Solomon, Lakeland Event Center, she's full of ideas too. She came up with the thing at our church, the Santa's workshop, you know, that was something different besides the bazaar. And then even the, you know, the Santa fly, and that was new this year.
Yeah.
And we have a huge opportunity there, although it rained right when Santa was supposed to land. But I mean, I think she could have done that 10 times. And of course it was free, but it was still,
Yeah.
it was amazing.
That's
It was
right.
something
And
different.
that, I think people come up with some really, really good ideas. I think if they knew, because some people stop shy when they realize they don't have the resources. They just have the ideas.
Right.
But when you put their ideas and some very creative people's ideas together on a committee, and you give them the support and know that they have some resources, you know, we might have the resources there to do some really neat things. Then I think, they could, I just remember Lynn coming in here.
Oh, yeah.
And Christmas is just and nobody's really killing it that I know of. I mean, downtown Paducah's got some neat stuff, but no one, nobody's lining up to go Patty's. But it's kind of, it's tight. And
It's tight and tiny, but now it's got the little stores, it's got the food, it's got everything in that little venue you need. That's one of the problems here,
Yeah, that's true.
is food.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, we've got the area's there. I mean, we don't have both the stores and the food in
That's
that
right.
area.
That's right.
And it's not that we don't have it, it's just spread out, trying to pull that together. That's a challenge, but it's not insurmountable, I don't think. And it may take us getting together with the businesses and trying to get them to work into that same mindset.
Yeah, like the shopping center here, you know, the
Yeah.
new restaurant. I can see making this, you know, I'm kind of thinking like you were, like Sesquicentennial, how we really did think outside of the box. I know that was a much bigger event than what we're talking about, but still, the amount of people we were able to draw in to help on those different committees, it was amazing what we got accomplished to do all of that. So, I mean, I think it's a great idea.
Well,
Yeah,
I
get
think
the
it
businesses
starts with
buying.
a think tank
Mhm.
on it, and that's what I'm talking about. So, this is, you know, the idea is much greater than just something or we can come up with.
Sure. Well, and CADA and the Lions Club, you know, there's a lot of,
So anyway, just.
that's good.
I mean, I'll see about getting Blair here for the February meeting. And that way it's still fairly close, close to our minds and all the thoughts process and stuff like that. And we're getting close to needing to brainstorm anyway, so we may just take the February meeting, make a workshop out of it. if that's what you guys wanna do, and that way I can bring her in and maybe someone, well, let's just bring her in to begin with.
Yeah.
And then go from there. Spread out if we need to,
Well, and
but I
kind
don't
of-
wanna wait too long, so.
Right, well, and kind of this, along the same lines, we talked about this Saturday night when we were freezing to death, but we want to get a few of these portable heaters,
Propane heaters, yeah.
you know, that stand up tall. It wouldn't be that somebody would be running into it, but I mean, I don't know how many, I don't know how, I don't have one of those myself, so I don't know.
They're
exactly
not,
how
they're not.
It's
I
about
went to a
130
Christmas-
bucks. It's Sam's.
There was a
that's-
Christmas bizarre kind of thing at this benefit dinner we went to last weekend.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like our Christmas, it was, they just had like a big, huge tent set up. They just had maybe one or two of those things. And it was very
Really?
nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was
As long
really,
as you can contain the area, it doesn't take much, because those will.
yeah, they will.
So I just told Blair I would add that to my list to keep that on with the budget coming up.
Yeah, I don't think we need,
Right.
we just need to set it up. Because those aren't that expensive to go in this special line item, but I'm glad to hear that that's what they're interested in, but we can look at that.
Oh, yeah. And I just wanted to
And we may
publicly
have-
tell Blair
yeah.
what a great job she did. I mean, it was amazing. Me working Saturday afternoon down there, just talking to the people. A lot of people weren't even from Calvert, you know, it's amazing.
That's-
Yeah, coming from, which it always helps how, you know, Benton's is the next weekend, and so we know we draw people from different parts of the county too, but I mean, there were people from other counties. They were just talking about the Hallmark, it seemed like a Hallmark movie, you know, everybody said that, so she did a great job planning, and I know she did some things different this year, trying to get it mostly on Saturday, I thought that worked well. with the little fly and thing Friday night, I thought. But she just did an amazing job. I hope she took off today. or
Santa
something.
Claus, no, she was there.
Of course she
The
was.
Santa Claus and the Mrs. Santa Claus and reindeer, that was absolutely.
That was fascinating.
It-
They were
And it
from Greenville,
looked
Kentucky.
so real.
Yes.
I mean, the individual, yeah, I didn't see him stand up, but I could tell what he was wearing wasn't your classic, you know,
No,
quick
it was
quick
amazing.
fix
Yes.
Santa suit. It was a good one.
Yes.
And on top of that, he had the look.
Mhm.
I mean, honest had the look. I'm looking at him going like, I felt like a kid again.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing. It really
Great.
was. And that reindeer was just so chill, you know,
Yeah.
just all those kids around it, it was amazing. It really was. They were so nice. But I
It's
think
in-
that has. to
That
be-
everybody was, it was so funny. She was talking about, she said, everybody was in their place and ready for this till Santa Claus, Miss Santa Claus got out of the plane and showed up. And when they did, it just fell apart.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything went, everybody went everywhere.
Yep, yep.
So,
Well, so I told her, I said, you had a plan and we had never done it before, so now we know next year. It was good though.
You try to give them something. Now, I like the idea that they were giving them something to do while they were waiting and doing the groups. That way the line wasn't 2.5 miles long,
Right.
you know. So as long as you kind of kept that going, and Glenda said it with hers, she said it was so long, she said, I just went back and made them do the cookies.
Mhm.
She said, because, you know, they're gonna have to wait anyway,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
She said, Just kept them busy, so it was having the other items there to go, that was just a fancy place. That's great. So, yeah, it was well done, well done.
That's all I have.
Got nothing.
The Merry Christmas to you.
That's right. Hard to believe.
Yeah, I think I go fast.
All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Being adjourned at 5:54 p.m.
What is it?
That was a quick.